So, things are going to be a bit different around here.
So.
As you may have guessed by the title of this particular video, me and Matt are not working together, we're working against each other.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
We're going head to head.
And what most appropriate band to do this with other than rival sons? So the basic premise here isn't too dissimilar from Without Busting the Bank. Both Matthew and myself have a £1,500 budget. Each. And
then we will see who sounds best.
Yeah, who's closest. It's also worth mentioning that each of us are given the same song excerpts so that we have a fair, level playing field when it comes to comparing tones.
That is correct, and we will try and play each rig for each song back to back so you guys can tell us who you think sounded best.
In any case, I am fully confident that I will win, but you never know. These things are unpredictable.
They are.
I'm going to win.
Right, so we're picking guitars, well I'm picking guitars for Scott Holiday from Rival Sons. He uses Fender Jazzmasters and Gibson Firebirds. I've done a little bit of research and there isn't going to be anything in Andertons that is in budget for me by either Gibson Epiphone or Fender or Squier. So I have decided to go for Gretsch. Let's go. So most of his guitars, this being quite a similar candidate, have mini humbuckers, and obviously this is a Firebird. We've not really used Firebirds much before, so that would be amazing if we had loads of money, but we don't. So I am thinking of the Gretsch Electromatic as a good candidate. This is the Gretsch Electromatic, it's the Pro Jet. Now there is a regular jet, I guess. Probably not what it's called, but that retails for about 300 quid. This is about 500 quid, and I think this might actually be a bit expensive. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this for now, and perhaps change my mind later on, depending on pedals. Right, having a right mare with amps. He uses orange, and is known for using orange. And I'm sure when you're his stature and you have lots of 4x12s and lots of fancy expensive amps, that is good. So like if you look at say a Rockaverb, it's about £1,500–1,600, so it's way too much. That's my entire budget. To get over this dilemma with my amp situation and give me a bit more budget, I've decided to make the guitar a bit cheaper and go for the Jet Club, which is saves me about £200. So it's only actually 273 quid for the guitar. Amp-wise, because he uses orange, I'm torn basically. I was going to go Black Star until I discovered this, which is the orange Rocker 15, which is apparently super new, announced at NAMM this year. And it's £600. The equivalent from Black Star is probably the HD20, which saves me 20 quid. This is tough, Because if this orange doesn't get me there, I'm screwed and I want to win. But I'm going to try it, I think. So getting the right fuzz tone is kind of why I've left such a big budget for pedals. So I have £300 on a guitar and £600 on an amp, so loads to play with. His main fuzz tone is a pedal that, well, he doesn't ever reveal what it is. So it's a big shot in the dark. But I think I am going to spend 200 quid on this Morgan Mark II, which is just around here. Fingers crossed, it's all on this, that this will get me close. So, crossed with the amp, hopefully that works. The Pog, because it gives me an up and a down octave, so I'm going to go for that as well. I'm also going to go for the MXR Micro Amp, just to give me a push. Maybe I'll need a reverb. I also need a tremolo, so I'm thinking the Tone City Tremble, which is £40, again really affordable. And that should be about it. He does use a bunch more pedals, and it all depends on what songs we play to what gets used. But that gets me into about 1,450, 60, 70, 80 pounds. So I'm under budget, but it's very close. And I'm relying a lot here on the guitar and amp sounding good to start with. Right, so I have my pedals, I have some more in order, my guitar in order, got my amp. Let's go and see how I sound. And next up is Rabea.
Okay, so now it's my turn to find Scott Holiday rig. I think I'm going to beat Matt. That's just because I'm overconfident. Could go horribly wrong. In any case, Scott Holidays uses sort of a range of different guitars, Gretsch and Gibson stuff, and they've normally always got like TV Jones style pickups in them and that kind of thing. Plus he plays orange amplifiers and then a plethora of fuzzes, uses a DL4, octave and stuff like that. So I've got an idea of what I'm going to get, but we'll start with the guitar. So I know what I'm looking for. It's essentially something like this. Instead of in white, that'd be better because he loves his white and gold, but that kind of thing. But it's just obviously a £1,500 budget is making things a little bit difficult. So I could go Gretsch because they have the right sort of pickups. So that's like £500, so that's a third of my budget. So I'm going to come back to those. So this is pretty good for $549, but it's probably nothing. I mean, it's probably not that close. Unless they've got some sort of Gibson stuff, which they don't. So I think I'm going to have to do that. I think I'm going to have to go Gretsch on it. Gretsch. I'm going to go with Electromatic because it'll hopefully achieve the sound. I mean, it's hard to say at this point, but the pedals should make a big difference to that too. So we'll go with this guitar. So amplifier, I want to find an orange, and I know they do like a Rocker 30 or a TH30 combo, which is valve. If I can't find something by orange, then I'm just going to go ahead and look at maybe the Egnator Rebel. So this is my preferred amplifier of choice for this rig. This is the orange TH30 combo. It's a 30 watt valve combo. It's £800 plus my 507. So yeah, that's basically it. So I can't do that. Oh, that's no good. I'm currently deciding: do I go with this Egnator Rebel 30 212 combo for $729, or do I go orange? Because they're about the same price. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with the orange. So I'm actually having a change of heart with the guitar, because although the Electromatic is good at £507, I actually found for $455 this new Streamliner center block double jet, which is pretty damn good. Rob and Lee have just reviewed them. I know they sound good and they play pretty nice, and it's a little bit cheaper, so it frees up my budget. Okay, so I've got my rig. I'm using this Gretsch Streamliner center block. I'm using an orange TH30 combo. I've got the Slash Octave Fuzz, and I've got a Tone City Tiny Spring, and that's all I can afford. Unfortunately, I'm just shy of £1,500 by about 20 quid. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna win. So we're back in the video room.
Back in the video room
with our rigs, and we actually get to see each other's rigs now.
To be honest, we should. I think next time we do this, we should film the reveal where we both see it for the first time.
Yeah,
because it was quite funny. And,
it was, and it still is funny because we're both sat with orange amplifiers behind us,
yeah,
and Gretsch guitars,
and some Gretsch,
as you can see here.
We went pretty similar, honestly.
We did.
Although I think what Beer did is spent a little bit more on the guitar, a little bit more on the amp.
I did.
And less on the pedals.
That wasn't intentional. I didn't really consider the fact that maybe we could get stuff down from the warehouse that wasn't actually on the shelf, so I just kind of looked around and grabbed the cheapest thing I could find.
Fine.
I knew that I wanted a Gretsch and an orange. I think that's as much as I knew, and a fuzz pedal, and other than that I was like, I have no idea.
Right. Well, I knew that I wanted a Gretsch,
yeah,
and I wasn't convinced about my orange.
Right.
And to be honest, the biggest difference between these two rigs is that mine's really, really noisy. It kind of sounds like being in a blizzardy snowstorm type vibe.
With someone with a foghorn,
yeah,
not letting off.
Yeah, it's like a massive static. But apart from that, they are pretty similar.
I'll talk about my rig. This is the Streamliner centre block Gretsch. These are newish, and it's £455, which is just a bargain.
Definitely.
Bigsby and nice pickups and stuff, and it's a lovely colour actually. It's like a champagne sparkle colour.
I really like that guitar.
So that's the guitar, and basically I got a TH30, which is a Valve 30-watt orange combo we used for Sound Like Arcane Roots, and it's kind of like a Tiny Terror, clean and dirty channel in a box for 30 watts. So I've just literally stuck it on the dirty channel, and I've been running the gain up and down depending on the song excerpt. Pedals wise, I was like, I need an octave and a fuzz, so I'll get the slosh.
That's way better than
I need an octave and a fuzz, so I went for the Slash MXR octave fuzz, just both in one box. And we tried it before, it's really good, so I knew it'd kind of work, although his fuzz sounds quite specific, so I was slightly dubious about it. And then I was like, I've run out of money, I have like 70 quid left, and I need to get like delay or reverb or something. And in the end I just went for the Mua Shimverb, which was only because I couldn't get a Tone City Tiny Spring because he got it.
Actually, it's not the last one.
Oh right, apparently there was none left in the store.
I had to order one in.
But that is the entirety of my rig, and you can kind of achieve most of it if I just dance around the tones really fast. So like, it's very noisy, and I guess the Shimverb is basically just a reverb. There you go.
It does have a shimmer function as well.
It does, but I didn't need it for that.
Yep.
I guess the octave fuzz is the moneymaker for me, because you've kind of got the versatility. The tone's very reactive. It's either very like, you get the silicon fuzz if you boost the tone all the way, or you get more germanium if you roll it off. And in a nutshell, that's basically my rig and how I did the thing I did.
Well, and to be honest, I think I might have gone a little bit further into this.
Yeah.
So I kind of came with, I knew before I started that I wanted to spend loads on pedals.
Right.
Perhaps what I should have done, if you imagine that, the Slash Octafuzz deconstructed, it would probably look a little bit like an up and down octave, which I knew I wanted.
Yeah.
It'd probably look like a fuzz.
Yeah.
And it'd probably look like some kind of boost.
Yeah. There's no way of knowing who sounded closer, A, until we listen back, but B, you guys at the other end are going to be the ones going, oh, actually, it was Matt that sounded closer, or Bea sounded closer. So, I mean, I think they both sounded great and close.
So I have the Gretsch Electromatic Club Jet, which isn't the Pro Jet. We've used the Pro Jet before, but we haven't used one of these.
No, I've never even heard of a Club Jet.
It's also made in China, and for a reason unbeknownst to me, it is only £273, as opposed to about the 500 you expect from a Pro Jet. Yeah, it just kind of is Gretschy, does what it says on the tin, and sounds great for the money. Running into this, which is the Orange Rocker 15, which is really new.
Okay.
It's a really new valve amp. It is all valve. It was 600.
Right, okay.
So it's still a little bit pricey, but I kind of went in going, well, 300 plus 600 is 900, 600 for pedals. Basically, Scott Holiday has this mystery pedal.
Right.
So I read up like, what is that thing? And tried to find out what would be closest. And I got to this. I have no idea if it sounds any good, but The pedal's great, but whether it's close to Scott Holiday is a different matter. So yeah, that was my main fuzz. And then I wanted something to push it, as I said in the shop, which was the micro amp.
Great pedal.
We've used that many times. I knew I needed octave up and down, so that's where the pod comes in.
Another great pedal.
And that's actually what he uses. And then yeah, again, some reverb thrown in for my 40 quid Tone City.
That's only because it's worth saying that the only reason we got reverb and had to factor it in is because Orange don't put reverb in their amps.
That is it. And I was torn between the Orange and the Black Star,
Right.
the Club 20, and that would have given me 5 watts more
And reverb
for 20 quid less. So I'd have saved 60 quid. Okay,
Not
so
bad.
here's what this sounds like.
Yeah, I quite like that on its own.
It's quite twangy. That is running on the dirty channel, but with not much dirt. So this is my octave. So yeah, basically it sounds like an octave, and the good thing is you can control octave up and down, which is similar to
mine, but it doesn't seem quite as obvious when you're using them as that one.
I mean, this the octave up is really.
It's worth saying that I actually think you got closer in some excerpts because it sounded like an organ as well.
And then this is where it gets noisy. I was maxing the gain on the micro amp out, which gets noisy.
It sounds awesome, but yeah, you're right. It's like rain.
It's like a big storm. I mean, it'd be a lot easier if these were on the floor and I could switch them on and off with my feet.
Yeah.
But so you can see them, they're up here. Anyway, that's my rig, and
Well, that's our rigs.
that's both of our rigs.
And this is the first time, to be fair, we chose a new artist. We figured it might be more interesting than going and doing another artist we've done before, something fresh and new. And this is the first attempt, as in we turned up to Andertons today and said, this is what we want to do. Let's work out how to do it on the fly. So the format might change a bit for the versus thing.
Yeah,
but
we might change it going forward, but
it's been fun though.
it's been really good, and it's been really good to go walking around going, I wonder what he's going to choose.
And then that bit where you go, oh no, that's a better idea than what I thought I was going to get.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But well, let us know whose you thought was better, which elements you like best, all that stuff. And let us know what you thought of a new format for this show.
And all the links for all this stuff, everything we've used, will go in the description box. And like Matt said, just give us some feedback on the new Versus episodes. But yeah, there is no name for this format yet, so we do welcome suggestions for this new episode in the comment section. But other than that, I suppose it's been sound like Scott Holiday without busting the bank.
So that's it, really. I've been Matt.
I've been Rabea.
And this has been Sounds Like on Andertons TV.
See you later.
Ciao.